this isn't just Orlando, it's not just Florida, it's the entire community.
The city of Buffalo joining the world, beating in one pulse for the victims of the worst mass shooting in American history. 49 innocent lives lost, parents, siblings, children, spouses going to bed tonight without one of their own.
And as families grieve, the world mourns, lighting up global landmarks in solidarity with those dealing with this massacre firsthand. And as the dust begins to clear, heroes are being honored for their selflessness.
And families cherishing memories they can never make again.
ABC's Marcy Gonzalez begins our team coverage tonight from Orlando.
Thousands in Orlando standing in solidarity.
We know that love trumps hate.
And paying tribute.
Leroy Valentine Fernandez, Tevin Eugene Crosby.
To the victims.
Alejandro Barrios Martinez.
All 49 people killed inside the Pulse nightclub early Sunday now identified. Their families getting the heartbreaking news as some of the survivors and their families share the horror that unfolded in those 3 hours of terror.
He was there. Some of them were actually hiding underneath the dead bodies.
The killer, Omar Mateen, pledging his allegiance to ISIS during the attack. The FBI raiding his home, now going through his digital records to figure out how he was radicalized. Though he was interviewed by the FBI 3 times for possible links to terror, he was not deemed a threat and allowed to buy the handgun and assault rifle used in the attack legally.
I don't see anything in reviewing our work that our agents should have done differently.
And ABC News has learned Mateen may have scouted other potential locations for his attack, including nearby Disney properties. Marcy Gonzalez, ABC News, Orlando.
What though the darkness round me grows, songs in the night is given.
The phrase "City of Good Neighbors" shined brightly in the heart of downtown Buffalo tonight. More than 1,000 people coming together to show their love and support for the victims, their families, and the entire community. 7 Eyewitness News reporter Hannah Bueller was there.
50 people are dead, and if you can't feel emotion because of that, you can't call yourself a person.
Just a week after Buffalo's colorful Pride celebration, rainbow flags are once again flying in downtown Buffalo. But this time the mood more somber as more than 1,000 people gather to remember the lives lost in the Orlando terrorist attack.
This is June, the month of Pride. It was total shock. Of course, along with shock, it's along with a reality that we've had to live for decades through fear.
But Renee Robinson says she, like so many others here tonight, is not living in fear.
We're not afraid of it.
Signs reading "Love Conquers All" and "RIP" were held high as local leaders addressed an emotional crowd.
This attack on the LGBT community affects all of us as Americans because it's an attack on our diversity and what we're all about.
Buffalo's vigil was one of many happening around Western New York and the nation, and with security at LGBT events at the forefront. Buffalo police officers were posted at most every corner, watching over the event, keeping it peaceful.
It's about freedom, that we all need to be who we are, and I just had to come to at least express some of the sadness that I'm feeling.
Things are not perfect in this world, in this country, and we still have a long ways to go, but it's also a reminder that we will stand together for a very long time.
The Peace Bridge tonight lit in the colors of the rainbow. That is just one of many landmarks across the nation illuminated tonight to show support for those in Orlando. Reporting in Buffalo tonight, Hannah Bueller, 7 Eyewitness News.
This shooting has impacted every creed, gender, and sexual orientation. But as 7 Eyewitness News reporter Paula Suro found out, for Western New York's Latino community, this massacre really hit home.
It was Latin night at Pulse nightclub, a night meant for salsa and merengue. Instead, it was the night of the nation's worst mass shooting. Most of the victims were Latino. And even though Buffalo is more than 1,000 miles away, this incident hits close to home for the local Latino community.
So many people in our Buffalo community fail to recognize that LGBT people, including myself, exist. Y la realidad, the reality is that we are present, we are your sons and your daughters, we are your grandchildren, we are your brothers and your sisters.
Reverend Justo Gonzalez II, who lived in Orlando 3 years ago, is urging the community to unite.
As a person of faith and communities of faith, and as a Latino, enough is enough.
The local Latino community is standing strong.
As the Hispanic community, we're raised with soul, we're raised with so much love and everything, and I just feel that as a Hispanic and to the Hispanic community, we all need to keep that.
Reverend Gonzalez says you can help Orlando all the way from Buffalo.
Stepping forward is vital in our community. I would also encourage people to donate blood. I'd like people to know that Latino lives matter. Gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender lives matter. That all lives matter.
Reverend Gonzalez is also calling on local Latinos to be a community of compassion and to not let this act of violence define them. Paula Suro, 7 Eyewitness News.
The fight over gun control is once again at the forefront following the deadly weekend in Florida. Critics are asking why the killer was able to get an assault rifle. He bought it from a gun store in Port St. Lucie, about 2 hours south of Pulse. The owner of the store says he's devastated.
An evil person came in here and illegally purchased 2 firearms from us. And if he hadn't purchased them from us, I'm sure he would have gotten them from another local gun store in the area. This man held multiple security licenses. He had an armed and an unarmed license. He passed the background check that every single person that purchases a firearm in the state of Florida undergoes.
The call for gun control measures was shared by many on the left, including the president, who has addressed America 15 times during his presidency about mass shootings.
But we also have to make sure that it is not easy for somebody who decides they want to harm people in this country to be able to obtain weapons to get at them.
Even the presidential candidates are weighing in on gun control, using the issue to take jabs at one another.
If the FBI is watching you for suspected terrorist links, you shouldn't be able to just go buy a gun with no questions asked.
She wants to take away Americans' guns and then admit the very people who want to slaughter us. Let them come into the country. We don't have guns. Let them come in. Let them have all the fun they want.
The gunman used an assault rifle similar to the guns used in Sandy Hook and San Bernardino.
Are nightclubs here in Buffalo safe? Tonight we spoke with the owner of Club Marcella, a gay nightclub in downtown Buffalo, and the Queen City's equivalent to Pulse. He tells us security is their top priority, not just at the door, but inside the club as well.
Security is so important. We have a nightclub in Miami, and we also, of course, have one in Buffalo, and security is always a top priority. We're constantly looking at our security procedures, how we work with the police department. You can never have enough security. You can never have enough training.
Slider says he's been in contact with Buffalo police to make sure all proper security measures at his club here in the Queen City are up to the standard they need to be.
Imagine being 2 minutes away from death.
It was 2 minutes after I walked out that door.
Not only are we hearing from family members and heroes, but also from people who managed to make it out of Pulse moments before the attack. Jason Hackett from our Scripps sister station in West Palm Beach talks to one woman who credits a last-minute decision with saving her life.
2 minutes. That's what I keep thinking. It's 2 minutes. It was 2 minutes after I walked out that door.
For 28-year-old Brittany Scardino, it was that close.
I would not be here. I know that. I wouldn't be. If I got that drink, I would not be here.
It was the first time at Pulse for the West Palm Beach resident.
It was hopping, it was alive, it was lively, it was loving, it was caring.
The innocence and joy of that night documented on her phone.
Their faces are just
imprinted on my mind.
Rather than wait for last call, she and her friend decided to leave.
We're walking, I'm halfway to my car, and all of a sudden I hear pop, 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 da 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 da. 20 shots. We're looking and we just see people screaming and sprinting out the door. And we both like froze for a second. We were like, oh, we gotta go.
The images unfolding in front of her like a horror film.
One guy, you could see he got shot right in the elbow. I mean, like dead on. There's blood everywhere.
Brittany managed to make it away from the area and to her parents' house. It wasn't until she woke up a few hours later that she realized the full extent of what happened.
What were we doing? What were we doing wrong? We can't go to Pride. We can't celebrate who we are as a community and the love. We can't do that.
And the impact of Sunday morning's senseless violence, Brittany says, will prove to be far-reaching.
It wasn't just an attack on the LGBT community. It was an attack on the children. It was an attack on the brothers, the sisters, the moms, the dads, all those people in there.
Once again, that was Jason Hackett reporting. As this story continues to develop, make sure to stay with 7 Eyewitness News. We will have every update on the worst mass shooting in U.S. history available to you on the air, on the web, and on our new WKBW app.